Hello everyone, it's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Anima Akasha Zibere.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Fine. Even though I've had a bit of shocks this week, trying with a family member down.
Oh.
I'm excited that I'll be taking my mom home today.
Oh.
It's been 8 years. She doesn't know that she spent the night in my house. Since 4 years since I had Imran, and 8 years that she actually stayed longer.
Wow.
So I counted down. No, she's spending just the weekend. She's coming in today. I'm super excited.
How long is she going to be around for?
You know those my people, they like to stay in their husband's house. That's what I put it. But this weekend at least for as long as I have her. I have a shout out, and a fan of ours called me yesterday, a very elderly fan, Erelu Adetutu Taiwo. She was saying that she called Morel's first name, everybody's first name, and said, I want to send gifts to all of you. I kept saying, no, ma. She wanted a shout out for her grandson. I said, we don't charge for it. But you know, she said she has to appreciate everybody, even into our organs, Sojo and all of them. She had, this favorable place. So his name is Adekunle Olamide Taiwo. Today is his first year. He's 1 year today. And she says from his parents and his grandparents, she's super excited about him.
We don't charge for this. Somebody else was asking, how much is that? Like, just send it to us.
Maybe commercial will hear us now and start charging.
But
we don't charge.
Let me come to you, Tokwe, then we'll take a few others. How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good. I'm very fine, grateful to God. Over the weekend, I went to Bumosho. And
it's been a while you've been doing
it's been a while. And I wanted to just give report on the road. So the Ibadan to Oyo road is in good condition. I saw FEMA walking on the road. They are walking on one side. So Oyo is still under, nothing has been done, but from Oyo to Ibadan, very, very good road, as in I was so impressed. Then from Oyo to Ogbomoso, far better improvement than December when I went to the same location, Ogbomoso. It was really bad in December, but it's really improved. So I really want to appreciate what FEMA is doing, what the Ministry of Works is doing. We're seeing your work, we need more to be done. The Taki roundabout in Ogbomoso is terrible. 2 trailers broke down at that junction, and it is not, you cannot ask questions on why they broke down, because the place is really bad, and this would cause increase in cost of transportation for goods. So please, can we fix Taki roundabout in Ogbomoso? Thank you.
Okay, how are you doing, DC?
I'm doing amazing. I'm better.
Thank God.
I feel great.
That's true. You go for the Monday, Tuesday.
It was just 2 days. It was just 2 days.
But did you actually rest?
Yes, I rested. I rested these 2 days. I'm wearing Lumsey accessories today.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I decided to launch a Lumsey the earring.
Lumsey does.
The gifts that we got now, yeah. So, yeah, Lumsey. Lumsey accessories I'm wearing today. And I heard you people talking about African wears. What do you think House of BC is for?
Hey.
I am championing the fact that we can actually wear our own dresses Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Look smart with them. Why do I have to keep my own traditional attire and wear them only on Fridays to dress down? That's an insult to an African. I take it very personal.
You see, I wish that was on set yesterday, because I have my views are a bit different. You see, I don't mind us wearing African attire, and I actually like it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people actually wear all these funny styles. There's no common way is a jacket and suits. But many people just wear all this option. You know, you have to have these net chest and all these cleavages.
Yes.
So I said, even with Dr. Gojo's
gele on top.
So we need to get a standard style. You know, how you look, an outlook.
Do not open your body.
If it is something you can work with.
And we have to run.
How are you doing?
How you are doing?
Yes, I actually have Adiola Tella. Today's her birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
So Ayomide, our in-house staff, wants to shout out to her mom, Mrs. Deborah Ogukeye. And she says the message is from her husband and children. I don't want to read the message, it's long. Then we have someone on my Instagram. Her name is, it's her own birthday today. Her name is Ajara Okoyemi, and she's...
Happy birthday, Ajara Okoyemi.
All right, we have to run. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue with the paper. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, let's start with the nation. Buhari orders crackdown on bandits, kidnappers, and others. COVID-19 vaccination begins in Abuja Friday. Freed 279 Zamfara peoples. They threaten to kill us. Bandits kidnap 50 in Niger. And panic in Kwara over herders relocation from Oyo to 13 villages. Okay, which story are we taking here? Let's start with the bandits kidnapped 50 in Nigeria.
It's a very sad story. They've been killing across town in the north. There's Tukula Suswam, the elder brother of the former Benue State governor, was killed alongside his aide. They jumped into his compound, and before he realized they were gunmen, they shot him and killed his aide as well. Then they left and went to others. So there's been pockets of incidents of killings in different areas. They killed 2 here, they killed 3 there, and they ended up abducting about 50 passengers that were going to a different location. The insecurity is getting worse. Now, I know that the president is making a lot of statements saying that they've ordered the service chiefs to fish out the bandits and all of that, but we need to see more than talk shop. We need to hear action has been carried out. We need to hear these perpetrators have been caught. This is the prosecution they are going to go through. We need to see action. It's not just, commiserating with people who have lost their lives and then we are doing it, you are working on it. We need more, please.
I'll take what's happening in Kwara. Apparently, based on tightening of security implementation on the National Grazing, National Livestock Transformation Plan, the Oyo people have been able to, herders have moved from Oyo, and now they have moved into 13 communities within Kwara State and the North Central region, and that is leading to a bit of panic. The governor of Kwara and Oyo had a meeting to discuss how to have a joint security committee to oversee the activities, but let's just not move into panic mode. Many of these people have been with us for many years. Let's try and find a way to peacefully coexist with them.
Moving on now to the Punch. Matawale ACF clash over kidnapped leaders' identities. Suspected herdsman killed woman returning from stream in Ogun. I was made to swear an oath by Orji Kalu's brother, says Abarebe. Drama Ashore's supporter arrives caught in cultural apparel. Varsities, police behind mobilization of illegal graduates for NYSC, says Oloyode. Saraki meets Obasanjo, says APC can't handle Nigeria's problems, and NLC mobilizes for protests over planned reclassification of minimum wage. Which story are we taking here? The major headline? Okay. Who was that, Matawale? Yes.
So the Zamfara State Governor, Bello Matawale, has said that he is going to reveal the identities of the abductors because he knows them, but he's not going to reveal them yet too. He's going to wait till after those 300 girls have been reunited with their families, after they have eaten, after they have drank, before he will release the names of the abductors that he knows. And he said that there's no money that was paid to the bandits, that actually was the repentant bandits that helped them to have that negotiation for the release, and he's promising that this will be the last time bandits will go to schools. But Arewa Consultative Forum, they are really upset about the whole situation, saying that he should be interrogated. They need to find out the abductors since he knows them, and if he does not release their names, he should be treated as an accomplice. That is going around embarrassing. It's embarrassing for all of these schools to be students to be abducted from time to time.
Even the effrontery that someone say, "Oh, I know the people who are behind it, and I'm going to say,
wait till they eat and drink before I drink."
Who does that in this country?
But if it is,
then say it. Yes. Don't say it to the media, Nima. Say it to the security operator. Let them arrest the person.
Let's hear arrest.
Why are you trying to make
really I was watching CNN yesterday, and Becky Addison was chronicling how many children have been kidnapped from schools in Nigeria, and how this is like a norm. How these bandits have the confidence, whether it was Boko Haram, to just go to schools and carry ball, and they know they will negotiate with them and they will get the children back. So the show of force needs to be stronger to criminals than to citizens that are protesting. But I'll take another story. The Senate Minority Leader, Enyinaya Baribe wrote a book that has been, snippets of the book have been making headlines. It's called Made in Aba, and he spoke concerning how he was made to swear. We've heard the stories about how they say political office holders are made to swear. He said specifically that the younger brother of the then governor he was being the deputy for between 1999 to 2003, Orji Kalu's younger brother took him to a shrine to swear allegiance to the governor.
We've seen the NDDC scandal. Remember that woman was saying that they made her.
You know, what this reminds me of before we run off is that they've said that our National Assembly people should stop taking the oath of office. Government stop taking oath of office with Bible. Bible does not scare them. They should take the oath of office with Oshu or Rumila, Amadioha. That one will control any misbehavior.
Okay, moving on to Vanguard. So as people started there.
Yes.
So no problem. Vanguard, insecurity, FG declares war on bandits, kidnappers and others. Sell tickets, risk jail term, Ondo governors warn transport unions. Petrol price hits 170 naira per litre as scarcity persists. Food blockage, prices skyrocketing in Nsukka, Aba environs will ensure food production supplies to South, says NBF. And Nigeria receives first batch of COVID-19 vaccines. Eko afojuba, oh, Nigerians. Eko afojuba. Our vaccines are called. Hey.
The league is not playing in the state. The issues that they have with the NURT and the RT are serious. According to his special advisor on special duties and strategy, Dr. Donya Debowale, any NURT member seen selling tickets in Oyo, at least for this first 2 week suspension that they have, is trying to run a parallel government with the legitimate government in Ondo State, and that they will stand against. They would not only arrest but prosecute and jail any
the major headline, yes, I like to take the major headline.
Yes.
So it seems like our president just suddenly woke up from one.
So they had a 5-hour meeting on national security.
Tell me about it.
And the defense minister has ordered that all the bandits, directed the new service chiefs to reclaim all the areas that the bandits have taken over. They also declared Zamfara State a no-fly zone, meaning that there are no aircrafts that are allowed around there because the military is in full operation so that they don't get into collateral damage. And they are asking that they are also banning all activities, all mining activities in the state. Yeah. You know, there is a way that we have insecurity because a lot of illegal activities are going on in the state, and that the security agency should go after non-state actors that seem to, you know, cause confusion. That's where I have a bit of a problem, because we know that any gathering that they just suspect you are saying something that is different from what we believe in, they will come after them. But I hope that this is as serious as they made it seem.
Of power. Zamfara, they've already declared Zamfara that 3 or 2 years ago that there shouldn't be any illegal mining activity because they found out that it was illegal mining activity that led to banditry. So when they declared it then, this is that they did not implement it. So that I don't want to just celebrate the declaration. I want to declare that we have 3 months of no banditry attack.
In the meantime, he has directed the Minister of Defense and National Security to deploy massive military and intelligence assets.
I will celebrate when 3 months we have no
we need
attack.
to see action.
Okay, yes. But the massive intelligence assets,
let us wait and see.
President Buhari, moving on to Vanguard.
We just did Vanguard.
Okay, let's move on to another paper. Daily Sun. US, UK, EU, others hail COVID-19 vaccine as it arrives. Insecurity. IGP insists on community policing. Emefiele unveils rice pyramids as task Nigerians on farming to attain food security. Food blockade. Southeast can feed itself, says SHEHU. And free GBENGA students opens up on a deal with abductors. Okay, which story are we taking here? Emefiele.
So celebrating about 5 years of the Anchor Borers program, and all their programs in support of farming. And he was talking in Kebbi State, talking about the new project, the rice pyramids, to get us back to that strength of agriculture that we had in the past, saying that this lockdown that all the countries in the world suffered showed that countries only export from what they reserve, their excess. But we just sell and we import and all of that. So we need to do that diversification seriously, and just commemorating the entire program.
Yes, we all agree, and many of us have gone into agriculture. Yeah. The issue now is insecurity.
Because right now
farmers are scared.
Even with paddy, local rice, even with paddy being bought, it is scarce to find, and so a bag of rice cannot be less than 20,000.
Wow.
So in Enugu State, they had a mass sensitization of the public on community policing. So the Inspector General of Police and the Enugu State's governor appealed to the people to accept community policing, that for you to be able to solve the problems of insecurity, you need to go local, because most of these bandits and kidnappers, they go into the forest, and so you need to have people on ground who know the terrain. And one of the reasons they've been successful in Enugu State, that there's been relative peace, so to speak, in Enugu State, is because they have started somewhat adopting community policing. So they're just making it known that people should accept it more in the state.
All right, moving on to our final paper, the Nigerian Tribune. One of us saw her abducted father in kidnappers' den, Zamfara schoolgirl. Picture here of the young ladies, the little children, as they were kept in the auditorium whilst listening to the state governments. Saraki Oyinlola Imoke, others meet Obasanjo. NLC TUC threatens strike over minimum wage. Nigeria receives 9.4 million doses of the vaccine. And Kwara Oyo governors meet on insecurity. Who has the Zamfara school story? Yes. So
I read in detail this account of these young girls. And, you know, most of them gave account that was scary. One of them was saying that, I know the path that we're taking, and I can trace it back.
Wow.
And I think that should be carefully, should have been
investigated.
Yes, no, not investigated, protected, because these bandits are within communities. Because one of them also said in the den, people that had been abducted for more than 3 months that they met, one of them saw her father, and he gave her a sign, don't even pretend that you know me, because you know it might lead to death. That they were fed, and he was their leader. They were young boys that were mostly their abductors, but they had an elderly person, they call him Yaya, which is big brother in Hausa, that person just was the one who saved them from being raped. Every other kind of hardship was meted out to them. They were made to take off their shoes at the point of abduction and trek barefoot into the forest. And as they went, they were made to dig for water with their hands to drink. Their food, when they bring the food, is not even that it's sandy enough. Somebody will put sand there and call it salt for them. And they were treated as like that, you know, for 4 days. You know, very horrible.
So when you hear that account and somebody now say, "Oh, I know those who can," and you now keep it as if it's some kind of secret.
Speak people for such comments. I would expect that they will visit him because he has immunity and get details of what they need to investigate.
Let's just continue. Somebody said something this morning that one thing that she knows, that Nigeria will survive this whole thing that's happening. At some point, we will get to that El Dorado. We'll all be happy. This whole too will pass.
It's sort of better because in the paper today we didn't take the story. The Saraki met with Obasanjo, with the former President Obasanjo, with the aim of trying to get non-partisan push, because the challenges for this government is beyond a ruling party. That international audience,
we have to run.
Opposition, everybody should work together to surmount.
Unfortunately, that's all we can take on front page. When we come back, we discuss the rising prices of food items across the country. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, in commemorating the 2021 International Women's Day, the ladies of Your View will join the entire world in promoting gender equality and inclusion, and we choose to challenge to create a better world for all of us. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to encourage fans to share their video of what they choose to challenge and tag TVC Connect and tag each of the ladies, and we'll see and we'll then share with everybody so that we're all on the same page as to ensure gender equality and inclusion for women across the world. Now, moving on to our topic for the day, food scarcity. For the past 3 days, the rise in the cost of food across the country have been quite alarming. Many Nigerians are lamenting, saying they can no longer afford to feed their families 3 times a day, as the prices of basic food items have doubled. So joining the conversation, we're going to be having our guests. We have quite a bit of guests today because we want to get people's perspectives from different parts of the country. We'll be having the Chief Press Secretary of Osun State, Mr. Ismail Omibidon, joining us on the show to tell us what's going on in Osun as regards this. We'll be having the Commissioner for Information at some point, Mr. GBENGA very soon. We're also having a public affairs analyst, Mr. Chukuma Okenwa, who's from Enugu State, and he'll be telling us what's going on over there. And we're getting a representative from Miyetti Allah to hear their own perspective on how they're managing this crisis so far. But before I come to our guests, let me hear from the ladies, because we are all mothers and we all family members, and we buy and we go shopping, and we'd like to hear your views. You can also call us on 081-270-53687. You can also call 091-390-76948. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourVTVC so we can read your tweets. We'd like you to join the conversation. Nima, let me start with you.
So there's this abattoir in Ojo local government at the military cantonment there, where all of us gather on weekends to buy meat. And on Saturday, it looked like a shopping complex. Usually on Saturdays, you see crazy, even chicken, everybody's rushing to buy. But that Saturday, there was no cows. There were goats skyrocketed, and I just came home and called my shopper that, please, my butcher, please, I'm not going to go through all of that. And I actually had that upper hand because he just had 3 goats left. Everything is scarce now. Prices went up for even tomatoes on that Saturday. Right. So if you are shopping in Lagos, you would know that Saturday. We can't even be deceiving ourselves about how prices went up. All the way to K2. Tomatoes suddenly went. We were already buying
about 5,000. I was buying about 5,000. It went up to 15,000 immediately.
Then you're talking of a basket, and that basket from K2 to my end plus transportation was 5,500. The huge basket. That's 2 weeks before. On Saturday, it went from that amount to over 10,000, just for no reason. So all of me too, I panicked. I bought small and kept. Just freeze whatever you can find, because we don't understand how things are going. They were claiming cost of fuel was what made it go up, but we knew what was in the news. As, you know, the basis.
So let me hear your experience on this, so I can come to our guests.
So mine was you're talking from perspective of Lagos. I'm talking from perspective of Oyo.
From the farm.
I bought tomatoes in between Oyo and Ibadan Expressway, and the prices were ridiculous. And I was wondering why. This in Lagos, this thing is cheaper. Why is it so expensive? You know, I say, and the malam, and it just came together when I read papers yesterday. The person I was buying from is a northerner, and the man was saying that na go know tomorrow. If you don't buy today, na go know tomorrow. Wait till you the price now for 2,000 naira. Tomorrow it go be 5,000 naira. So it came across to me like it was a deliberate, it was planned, they knew. I had no idea. I was just traveling in transit and I wanted to buy, and I was being told that if I did not buy that few pieces of tatashe for 2,000 naira, that tomorrow it will get higher and it will keep on going higher, that we've not seen anything yet. So for me, it's a case of what we're stoking, we cannot handle.
I think Obasanjo just echoed that recently. Let me come to you, BC, because we've all experienced purchases in the last couple of weeks, and we've seen the difference. What has been yours?
I remember having a very heated argument over the price of tomatoes with Nima 2 weeks back. And as if I knew, I just decided to order an extra basket. So right now, I still have tomatoes. I'm not going to feel anything concerning tomatoes for a while. But because of the meat issue, I realized that my shopper called me and was like, Madam, that money you gave me for meat is not going to work. There is no meat in the market. Like we go to, she shops for me at this area.
Kara.
No, not Kara. This, our area now, former area.
Oh, okay.
That market. There's a major market there. Okay, let me just leave that. But she called me and like, there's no meat anywhere. There's nothing you can do right now. So I'm already talking to my housekeeper and see, we can do without meat. Maybe there's egg. Anything we see, let's manage, because we don't know how long. Leave food first. You must not swallow. The people that eat are in the burden. So we will make. I think we should get to a point where we can manage what we have. Let's just see how to survive and come out of this. And hopefully the government will do something.
So my own experience too was with meat, because my husband has told I would stop buying cow meat anyway. So we usually buy goat meat, but recently I just buy cow meat. And I interestingly asked somebody to help me get cow meat over the weekend, and same experience. Wow. They're asking for 30,000 naira for what I had bought for like 10,000 before. Wow. They're going to ask me small quantity 30,000. I say, Auntie, reverse. We'll eat chicken. Eggs. Everybody eats chicken. I'm going to go and buy chicken in the house. And that chicken, I cut it into small pieces. Very small. You know, like all of you are doing a big margarine. You can take maybe 3 pieces of big chicken or small pieces. But everybody, one piece. Me myself, I manage myself 1 piece and I take gizzard. Finish. Because the truth is that we have to face the reality. That is what we're going through. And we're hoping the government can bring some kind of remedy to this situation?
I don't know how we got here, but we used to have self-subsistence farming. I had my chicken in my compound before I got married. If I vex for government, I will catch chicken in my backyard. I will kill it. And I can catch chicken.
Okay, let me come to our guest, because I'd like to hear, I'll come to you, but I'll come back to you, Toko, because I want to hear what's going on in Enugu and also what's happening in Osun before we bring in our other guests. Mr. Chukuma, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, so we read in the papers today, the South, I think it's Asetu was saying that Southeast is self-sufficient in piggery, that they can feed themselves, they don't need cow meat. What are your thoughts on this, and how has it been in that area concerning importation of food and foodstuff from the north?
Let me say that at the moment, pig meat is no replacement for cow meat because it's a well-known fact that in the Southeast, aside from the regular use of the cow for cooking, the suya business is also one you find at almost every corner within the Southeast. So our people enjoy the cow meat, but I think the Lord actually just made a statement, and I want to interpret that statement in three ways. First, it's a way of demonstrating the importance, the great and huge importance in the nation as regards to the food chain. So just a single move like that, we already see like across the southern part of the country, there's already a food crisis. Now the question I'm asking, and I want to ask the southern part of the country, in a time like this, do you really have any product you send to the north that you can also like use, to make a statement? And that dry sauce.
Okay, it's hanging. We can't hear you anymore, Mr.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly. Go ahead.
Okay, and that dries up back to, agriculture used to be the mainstay of Nigeria. And irrespective of the fact that the southern part of the country has not been as proactive and contributed largely as expected, such that instead of fighting for the huge markets within Nigeria, we can begin to also explore other markets beyond other countries. Up till now, the flag of Nigeria still remains green and white, and of course, green stands for agriculture. This actually is a wake-up call to all of us in the southern part of the country to revisit agriculture, not just to demonstrate a point to another brother, but also to grow to that point where once more as a people, we can begin to manage food affairs for other African countries.
All right, thank you. Thank you. We're having a bit of sound issue, but we'll try to fix that. But okay, that's one angle. Another angle could be, it shows how interdependent we are. We need each other more than ever. This demonstrates to us that, listen, I need you, you need me.
But for many years, we just always felt like everybody should stay in their own place. And we've been announcing that back to back in recent times. Like, go to your community. We are okay the way we are. This is not necessary. Regional, autonomy. And that's I said, what we are stoking, we're not ready for it. That's one. Number two, these businessmen have suffered huge losses that we cannot say we are not aware of. So it is unreasonable for the government not to talk to them before things deteriorate further. Their things got vandalized, their vehicles got burnt, their goods got stolen and destroyed. In the very minimum, you talk to them, because they are also Nigerians and they are obviously essential to every part of Nigeria.
I mean, we have to go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Because we have our Commissioner for Information, I'm told, is already joining us from Lagos State, and then our Chief Press Secretary from Osun State is also on the line. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Where are we? Done. Thanks for staying with us. So we'll be having the Commissioner for Information Lagos State and the Chief Press Secretary of Osun State joining the conversation. Let me start with the Chief Press Secretary, Mr. Ismaila Omigbidon. Good morning, sir. Are you still there? Hello, sir. Okay, while we're trying to connect with him, I'm also told that the Commissioner for Information, Lagos State, is also standing by. Honorable OMOTOSO, are you still there? Okay, let me come to the ladies since we're having some connection issues. All right, so
I'm a bit afraid that what is happening now is exposing how divided we are, because we had the assurance that we're one Nigeria. So the North would give us food. They are basically farmers. They will provide food. They provide meats for us. We, on the other hand, are building the factories and trying to, So there was like an arrangement of you help me survive, I help you survive. We're depending on one another. But now, with the way everything is going, where one area can decide to, okay, I don't want to give you this because I need you to pay attention to this, this, and that. And another area says, okay, you can keep your food or keep your cattle or keep whatever it is you want to keep. Let us see how we can start. We are going to be stoking division at the end of the day, because if everybody can now stand on their own, that's obvious that I can survive without reaching out to the north or reaching out to the west, and I can really, really survive. Then why are we staying together? So that's the fear that I have. And I think the stakeholders who are making all of this ban not to reach out to this should pay attention to all the factors that they are bringing to the fore right now. Because if it goes down, we can't afford to have war.
All right, so I wanted to take this conversation to all the various reasons why we're having insufficient food in the southern part. And I'd like to hear from the Commissioner for Information, who recently said that all is well. Honorary Commissioner, are you there?
I'm here.
Good to have you on the show, sir. So,
thank you.
We read in the papers and you're saying that Lagosians have nothing to worry about because you're in talks with these groups to ensure that food is brought down to the south. Could you give us an update exactly on what you're doing exactly and what has been done so far?
Well, you have noticed supplies are coming in already. But like I said in that press release that you are referring to, the governor, Mr. Biden, is on top of the matter. He's going to call both sides. There's going to be a meeting, and he's going to tell them to take it easy, that whatever may have caused this crisis, you do not need to escalate it. That two wrongs don't make a right. And he will tell them to embrace it and then put in place so many measures to ensure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again.
Who are the two sides you're talking to? Could you give us an idea? Who are the two sides?
Representatives of the people who are supplying food and those who are receiving here. The two sides, traders here waiting for food, and the truckers and all the food merchants who are bringing food from the north, who have incurred some losses because of this, and our people here who have suffered price increases. So he's going to tell both sides that, well, we should do everything that is possible. You know, this crisis didn't start from Lagos. The Lagos is the biggest market in the land. 50%, more than 50% of everything coming into this southwest is taken by Lagos. So Lagos seems to be feeling the brunt of it whenever this kind of crisis happens. But like I said, there is no need to panic. There is no need for anxiety. The government is on top of the matter.
Sir, do you think that the demands of the amalgamation of food transporters are valid, considering that, during the hashtag answers, we saw their trucks being burnt and attacked at Agege in Lagos. And also, recently, the Shasha one that happened, they were also attacked. These are businessmen whose investments were destroyed. Do you think that they have valid grounds for their demands, and would government be willing to negotiate with them?
Please repeat that question. I didn't get it at all.
Also, the amalgamation of food transporters had made a demand of 400 million, asking government to give them bailouts. Do you think these demands are valid, because they're businessmen, and we saw their trucks attacked in most of the crises that happened within Lagos and outside Lagos?
But like I told you, this crisis didn't begin in Lagos, and it's not going to continue in Lagos. That is why the government is stepping in to say that both sides should withdraw from their positions. And now I'm sure that after the meeting with all the elders of all these people, that there is not going to be such a demand. And if such a demand is being made, it's not being made on Lagos State government. Because the crisis did not start in Lagos, it started in a neighboring state. And Lagos is just, like I told you, the consuming stage. And this is why we do not want our people to panic, because that supply chain, Lagos doesn't want it to break. But we are not going to be doing anything to escalate the matter. That is why we are going to be calling for peace, and we are going to be telling our people to take it easy. But we have long-term measures to counter this kind of move, so that whenever this kind of thing happens, we do not pray that it happens again in future, that our people should not suffer.
Right. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Let me move on now to the Chief Press Secretary of the Osun State Government, Mr. Ismail Omigbidan. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm there. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you. Could you give us an update on what's happening concerning food supply to your state, given all that's happened in the recent times?
Thank you very much. Let me start off this way. That one, as a government, we believe very strongly that we need each other as Nigerians. And my principal has always maintained the fact that we should not, under whatever guise, under whatever circumstances, ethnicize criminality. That criminality has no religious or ethnic coloration. Criminals should be treated as criminals. Having said that, if we look at our state, for example, what are the staple foods here? What do we eat? Pounded yam, gari, eko, the one we call udi, either eko or udi. Then rice and beans. Now, if you look at all of these food items, how many are produced in the north?
Beans.
Although we may have issues with maybe tomato and onions, but as a government that is very, very proactive, long even before this crisis, we had invested heavily in our agricultural sector. For instance, as I speak to you, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, we are doing 10,000 hectares where we create farm settlements in all the 3 senatorial districts across the state. We already have one in Osun West, located in Ede. Only about 2 weeks ago, Mr. Governor was there physically to harvest some of the tomatoes. And during our second harvest, we had about 130 kg of tomato. And as I speak to you today, we are going for the 3rd harvest. Again, we already have in our state one of the biggest tomato company in the southwest called Farm Connect. It's located in Wasimi, somewhere very close to Ikire. Now, already, although they have not started processing their tomato, but they are already harvesting and selling. And it's located, they are already harvesting and selling. And in the long run,
Sir, are you
they
saying
hope
now,
to also process.
if I get you correctly, that Osun State can confidently feed itself, what about your meat?
Well, as per our meat, we have what we call OBOBs. That is Osun State Broilers Outgrowers program. Now, we believe very strongly that that will be an alternative to red meat. Don't also forget that even red meat is not too good for our health. So we are looking at it, and I recall very strongly that even long before now, some of my northern friends, a very big farmer in Kaduna, had told me, then I didn't believe it until I found out that most of the eggs that are eaten in the north come from the south. That was like,
let me go on a quick,
I think about 6-7 years ago.
Let me go on a quick break, sir. I have to go on a quick break. I'll come back to you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So before the break, we had the CPS of Osun State telling us that in Osun, chicken, they are sufficient. They have tomato. plenty. They have chicken. They don't want to eat meat. No problem. But let me come to another guest, and I'll come to CPS. I'll come back to you unless you have a question for him.
No, I want to ask
the Commissioner for Information.
Yeah, no. I want to ask the same CPS before going to Commissioner for Information quickly. The CPS, we know that beans is largely important. See, when we say that when you make statement like was sufficient, you're not taking cognizance of the fact that we already have intertrade. That even though you are producing tomatoes, does not mean that your local market isn't buying tomatoes that are brought in. So what's the current situation on ground? Like, are you aware of the impact of the past few days on the financial, the price of these items, your beans, your tomatoes? How has the price been?
And to add to, CPS, are you there? To add to Tope's question, because from Lagos State is not saying, oh, don't worry, I'm sufficient to. Lagos is saying we are having a conversation. So would you say Osun State is trying to have a conversation to resolve it, not to say, oh, don't worry, we don't even need it, we are okay? Because that's what is coming across to us.
No, the point I'm trying to make, I'm not saying that if you look at my opening remarks, I made it very clear that we need each other to survive as Nigerians.
Yes.
I established that.
Yes, you did.
2, what we are doing is not necessarily in response to the current situation. But I'm saying that long before now, we started working towards food security, food sufficiency. And that the efforts we have put in place so far, this is what it has generated so far. That is the point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying that, oh, no, these people can go to hell. We can feed them. No, that is not the point I'm making.
Okay.
However, the fact remains that what happened, just like COVID-19, was not something that was envisaged by anybody. And usually when things like that happen, the first thing you do is how to contain it first. Then you take further proactive steps to ensure that it does not happen again. That is the point I am trying to make.
All right.
However, in our own state here, to the best of my knowledge, we do not have the type of crisis that necessitated what happened in our sister states.
Okay. All right.
However, because we're also part of the Southwest,
right,
there's hardly anything that will happen in any of the neighboring states that will not have effect in our state.
All right.
But from day one, we made it very clear that we are also working towards ensuring that rather than go to Lagos to do business, Osun will be your choice destination.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Let me pause you for a second. I'm told I have the chairman of the Mile 12 market in Lagos. Is Alhaji SHEHU USMAN. Good morning, sir. Alhaji, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you on the show. Could you give us an update? The Commissioner for Information Lagos State has said that they're having conversations with the various parties, stakeholders, to ensure that there's food supply into Lagos State. Could you help us confirm this from your end at Mile 12?
Yes. Mile 12 is a different ball game. We are the biggest perishable market, not even in Nigeria, in West Africa, where you have abundant food stores. And we have already made a press statement concerning this the so-called strike, that we are not part of that strike because we have no business, we have no problem with Lagos State government, we have no problem with the people of Lagos State. So there is absolutely no reason why we should embark in something that has to do with people's lives. So we are much concerned about that. That is why we made that statement. And apart from that, immediately we understand that something like this is going to happen because most of those things come from the north. We met our sisters, business people from Cotonou Republic, some from Ghana, and some even from the north, that they should make sure that Lagos State did not suffer because Lagos State have done so much for us, particularly during the pandemic, because only Mile 12 market that you can have your goods. And of course, it means they have saved a lot of money for us so that we don't lose. Because if you don't bring it from the farm, it means what you have in the farm will perish. Equally, the one you have in the truck will perish. Yes. So Lagos State has done us a favor that there is need for us to pay them back in kind. That is why we do all we can to ensure that Lagos State did not suffer this strike. And if you go to my 12 market now, I can tell you you have abundant onions, abundant tomato. We don't even know anything is happening, except the fact that maybe the supply may not be enough, but we don't have any issue at all.
Okay.
So that is a lie. Low supply would explain the high prices that we suffered over the weekend, sir.
Hello?
I said low supply would explain the high prices that we suffered over the weekend, sir.
Yeah. Hello? The price, yeah.
Go ahead, sir. We can hear you. Go ahead.
The price is just a matter of few days. Now, if you come to Maltref, we're even looking for where we can park those trucks because Lagos State are doing construction. So even the place we have to put those trucks are not enough for us. So if you come to Maltref now, you can bring your cameraman and see how Maltref is now. We have a lot of food items that at least a basket of tomatoes is not at 10,000 naira now in the market. Compared to day before yesterday that is 20 or thereabouts. But now we have abundant tomatoes.
Fantastic. Okay, good to know.
And every other vegetable items in the market.
Okay, so, but there was a challenge of meat. And this question, I think, I'm happy to hear that you have a good relationship with the government of Lagos. But I also want to understand, are you aware of the grievances and the issues of the suppliers? What were their issues and what do you see reasons to what they are saying?
Yes. You see, one thing is for someone to offend you. Another thing is your reaction towards the offense. Like, I'm part and parcel of this amalgamated foodstuff. In fact, I'm one of their pillars. When I told them I'm not part of it, they were all shocked. They know what I can do. They know my capacity in this particular group. But I told them that if something has happened, we in the market have already communicated with those people at SHEHU to say, okay, it has happened. Let us see how we can do to assist ourselves and maintain peace in that place. Before we even took action, 4 governors from the north came. 4 governors from the north came. They came to solicit with those people to make sure that they address the issue so that it will escalate to other states that are not concerned. They did well. The governor of Kano State gave them 18.5 million naira, and some other governors promised to make sure that they're going to rebuild the market back and the peace will be maintained. I told them that, look, the reason why I will not be part of this strike is because 4 governors have came to Ogun State and they went to Ibadan. It means they are concerned with you people. It means they have us in hand.
Right.
So the reason why we should embark on strike does not even exist. Let us go and meet one of the governors. I told them I have a link with Governor of Kano State, Ganduje, that let us go and meet Ganduje and ask him, what are your discussions with the governor of Oyo and Ogun State? What are the things you discuss? Let us know, because we want to embark on strike. Because all this thing that is happening during the EndSARS, it falls on our people, and now our people again. Who do we offend? Is it a crime for me to be a Hausa man? Is it a crime for you to be a Yoruba man? Let us address this. Let us see what the governors want. Let us see what the kind of discussion they have with the other governors. Before we embark, if we are satisfied, fine. But if we are not satisfied, let us see what can give to give ultimatum to people. Maybe people should just get set.
Right.
But for you to say you want to embark on this, I will not be part of it.
Right.
And they said they reason with me too, but they have given a date, they are not going back. Okay, since they have given you a reason, I also give my own reason that we cannot just take law into our hands. When we have problem, we meet those governors, they solve it for us.
Thank you very much.
So
Alhaji.
that's our position, yeah.
Right, I have to wrap up on that. Thank you very much, Alhaji, for giving us that update. Let's go on a break, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So I'd like to take a few tweets before we wrap up on this. PC?
Yeah, Elia says, ladies, there's a strike going on currently. The amalgamation of grain and cattle suppliers are protesting the continued killing and destruction in the northerners' properties in the south without nothing happening to the perpetrators, and no compensations was ever given.
Compensation was given, we just heard now.
Adil Buhari tweeted the pictures of burnt trucks and cattle within them, the one I mentioned that happened in Agege area in Lagos. And he also tweeted other pictures, gory pictures of how the trucks burned, saying that these are the reasons, for valid reasons for their demand. I'd like, if we bail out discos, bail out banks, bail out this, just because the informal sector doesn't mean, we at least talk to them.
So I think the government should, and I like the fact that Alaji told us that the governors have started this, one governor has already given 18.something million, other governors have promised, and hopefully they'll resolve this as soon as possible.
But we didn't clarify, though, that this was for the transporters. We're talking about reconstructing the markets that was bought. So the transporters are the ones making demands.
We'll address that issue a bit later, but we have to move on to the issue of COVID-19 and tourism. Is important. The outbreak obviously affected many strata of the economy, but the travel sector appears to be one of the most hit. We have with us the Executive Director, Business Development at Fazo Travels and Hospitality Services Limited, Mr. Charles Issa. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much, Mariah. Glad to be here.
Yes. So tell us, how is your sector recovering? I mean, life is gradually going back to normal. People are adjusting by wearing their face mask, observing social distancing. How are you implementing this in the tourism sector? Are you there, sir?
Well, the tourism sector was one of... Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the tourism sector was one of the largest employers of labor. 1 in 11 people had a job in tourism. It hit in early 2020. It was a major shock to everyone, and in total we've lost about $1.3 trillion in export proceeds from tourism revenue. That being said, post-COVID, well, there's really no post-COVID because we're still very much into the COVID pandemic. Nigeria currently is in the second wave. But going forward, there are lots of borders that are reopening. There are lots of rules and regulations that are being coming out to guide the process flows to ease the travels between nations, sorry. Now, some of these you already know. That's the face mask, the hand sanitizers, constant hand washing, spacing between 2 meters, but it's not necessarily enough, because to be honest, not everybody follows these protocols. Now, at Fazo, we try to ensure that we are able to guide our clients to the best and safest destinations that we can offer to them, where the virus isn't as badly hit as over the other nations, more or less.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you about the country that has experienced like sort of boom, sort of after the first phase of pandemic is Dubai. Dubai opened up, they got back into, not as much as before, but they opened up extensively between December, January. And now, many Western world have blacklisted them or red-listed them. They are not allowed to, if you go to Dubai, you're not allowed to come into the country freely and all of that. Would you say that the pandemic has gotten to a phase where we can still be talking tourism, or we still need to sit down and get into proper integration of vaccines into all the countries before tourism can wake up back?
Well, you are very correct, but yes, I believe it is necessary to still be talking about tourism, because for any reason, tourism assists, this is scientifically proven, that tourism assists with mental health. I remember during the lockdown, we spent almost 2 months thereabouts on total lockdown here in Nigeria, and you could see the chaos that ensued just by the frustration of being locked in. So yes, tourism is a necessity, and the honest truth about it is that we might not recover up to 2019 levels of tourism till 2023. But that said, we have to understand that we can still move about. The onus is on us to follow the set guidelines. The disease is not necessarily airborne. It is something you can guide yourself against. You follow the proper protocols, you wear your face mask. As soon as you leave or you enter any venue, you wash your hands, you most likely will not get the virus. So the governments have aided us with the vaccines, and it came out really fast. But the world will not be totally vaccinated until, let's say, 2022,
right.
thereabouts. So,
right, let me get
so we still have a lot.
Yeah, so I know that the government made a lot of promises in the heat of the pandemic to provide palliatives for different industries to help cushion the effects of the COVID-19. Did anything get to the tourism sector, and how far did it help you guys stand up?
Yes, well, I would like to thank the government for their assistance. Yes, they did send, if you use the word palliative or relief to the travel sector. That is, the NCAA in guidance to NANTA. So NANTA is in charge of distributing that to the various agencies. So yes, we are being aided by the government, and we are being encouraged by the government, and we believe that we will all bounce back and recover. So this is the time to start to talk about travel, like you said. Yes, we're in the second wave, but it is preventable and it is doable to ensure that the pandemic doesn't grow into a third wave.
So my concern is that we want to quickly go back to business as much as possible, because everybody is losing money. But how, in your experience, how willing are Nigerians or your customers to conform with the guidelines? How many people do you see willingly wear their mask? Or even do the social distancing?
Like I said, you are very correct. That is the major problem. A lot of what has happened now and getting to the second wave could have been avoided if everybody followed the protocols. If we all socially distanced, if we all wore a mask, and we all washed our hands. But right now, we're all eager to get out of this pandemic, but we cannot get out of this pandemic until everybody is following the necessary guidelines set in place. In Lagos, for instance, the government or the governor, Governor Sanwo-Olu, has also directed and has tried to enforce the wearing of face masks within Lagos. To a certain degree, it has been adhered to. And for the travel sector, there are certain shifts and there are certain dynamisms that are changing. Now, I would like to make reference to the 9/11 that happened in the US. When that happened, there were certain security measures that were put in place at airports. Until today, those measures are still put in place. So going forward in a post-pandemic world, we're looking at where we might have larger airlines that might be able to cater to spacious sittings for its flyers. We might have hand wash sanitizers set even on the plane. It might be part of what the air hostesses hand out as they are going around. So a lot of these processes that are currently running are here to stay, and that's the honest truth.
Right.
So we have a lot more sanitary.
Let me get in one more question for you.
Okay, let me just quickly ask about internal local tourism, Lagos to Calabar, from Port Harcourt to Jos. How are you pushing for interstate travel tourism instead of looking for external people to come into the country? What are you doing to promote that?
We as FASO, we are pushing that really hard. We are pushing it intensely. And this is because, like you said, a lot of people are not really traveling internationally. And it's more a psychological thing, you get. For Lagos, for instance, we have a lot more requests for short-let apartments. And that is because a lot of people feel or believe that short-let apartments will give them the necessary security, that the facility is well sanitized and it can be maintained to their own desired taste. So they don't have to worry about people touching elevators. They don't have to worry about escalators. So that it's just them and their apartments. And a lot of short-let apartments are popping up within Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, Benin, and even Calabar. So the dynamism of tourism is expanding, and we are willing and happy to go along with it.
How much of the sector is affected by the level of insecurity in the country? Is there anything you want to say?
Now, the level of insecurity has impacted travel, especially within Nigeria, because we are solely dependent on one resource, and we have a lot to offer. But there's a lot of reservations with certain destinations that if I go here, I'll be kidnapped. If I go here, assassins and stuff like that. For example, in the east, there are a lot of caves, there are a lot of waterfalls yet to be explored. In the north, there's a certain castle that we've been pushing for a while now, but we don't get traction because everybody fears that they will be kidnapped. There's a certain level of insecurity in that state. We work with government parastatals, security agencies on most of our vacation packages to provide security for certain locations. So we can, to an extent, guarantee the safety of our clients.
Right.
But yes, it's a major concern in security in the country.
Right. We have to wrap up now.
Yeah, I wanted to say that before the fear of insecurity, I think Nigerians basically do not like to know their countries, just a few people. Is there anything you're doing to ensure that you promote what we are, make it beautiful for us to want to
domestic
come and
tourism.
see? Yes, domestic tourism. Anything you're doing in that regard?
Yeah, okay. Domestic tourism, usually we call, in the travel industry, we call that staycations, you get, so within the country. So as much as we push a lot of packages out there internationally, we push a lot of local packages. Now, the closest I have in mind is our Easter packages. We have trips.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up at this time, sir. I do apologize. We're running out of time. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on this show. We have to wrap up. Thank you, ladies. That's all we can take. Have a fabulous day. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.